glad to have everybody up here. It seems like it's been a while since we've done it's not a Thursday night meeting, but a Tuesday night meeting. Got our families up here, and we're just elated about what's going to happen. And we're going to show you here really quickly over the next probably 10-15 minutes something that's really truly historic in the company. And this has really never been done before. And so all of you guys are going to be a great part of that, as well as my father and myself's entire hierarchy. There has never been a merger like this. There's been big mergers in the in the history of finance and business and stuff like that, and this is really the biggest merger, the biggest I guess bringing together of businesses in the history of Primerica. And all of you guys, I believe, are going to reap the rewards and the benefits from what we're about to do together. Is everybody excited about that?
Yes.
What we're going to do, we're going to go through what the process is going to be together. And we've been talking a lot about this. It has been done in the company before, where you have a father and a son, or a father and a daughter, a mother and a daughter, where their businesses are combined together for growth. And almost every time it's worked tremendously well for those leaders. This time is different with us because we are the only, and Lindsay's here, and my amazing mom and my beautiful wife in the back, as well as my little girl, my beautiful and pretty little girl Lexi's in the back. And we are the only father, mother, daughter, or father, son, or whatever you have, a sibling, or that's not even saying it the right way, but the father and son, or whether it be a mother and a daughter, we're the only duo that is a parent and a child in the history of Primerica that are the senior national sales directors at the same time. Never been done before. I'm sure it'll be done again. But this is also something that's revolutionary from a company standpoint, because we are going to really show the company what a family business can look like at a higher level. Does that make sense, right? How we can grow this thing to exponential platforms that we've never been at before. We're going to grow a lot of y'all's businesses by leaps and bounds, and we're very excited about that. A lot of people are going to play parts of this. That's why we wanted a lot of you up here tonight. We got people on Zoom as well. And really, listen, it's about growing this thing. That's the biggest thing what we've talked about. Is growing a business to an extremely high level, growing everybody's incomes, and really coming together, do something big and do something great together, which is exactly what we're going to do. So this really is, this merger, to talk about what are our goals in this, okay? So the first goal and the most important goal moving forward is that we want to be 100,000 by 50 base shop within the next 3 months, okay? How many of you guys can buy into that? I think that's something we can all do together, okay? 100,000 by 50 base shop by August 1st. I really actually believe we can probably even do that in June, but at the absolute latest July, we want to be 100,000. We're running a $100,000 base shop by 50 recruits, if not more than that. And everybody plays a huge part of that, and I'll show you what I mean by that here in a second. Also, the big design of this whole thing is to develop and to grow leaders. So the second thing right there, as you see, we want to promote 2 regional vice presidents in 2025. Okay, now we potentially could do more than that. We know pretty much shoe in that Jamal and Kay will be the next promoted regional vice president. So let's give it up. There are superstars that are doing amazing things. They'll be the first promoted regional vice presidents. We have some amazing other people, I think, well in line that really could be great regional vice presidents here by the end of 2025, okay? And then the biggest goal of this whole thing, and as Art Williams said, and y'all have heard it a lot, is that you got to promote, 7 to 10 regional vice presidents, right? And our goal is not just to promote 7 to 10 regional vice presidents in general, but as you see right here, our main goal, because of what we're doing together, we're going to be able to collapse time frames and promote a lot of you leaders out and really do it in a very short period of time. So our goal is really to have that happen within the next 3 to 4 years max. Okay, so if you look at this, we're going to promote 2 RVPs in 2025, and the goal in 2026 and 2027, because what is that? That's leading into the convention. As a lot of y'all know, the convention, the 50th year anniversary of Primerica, is in 2027. Okay. So we want this to be on a roll. We want to promote those RVPs out of this base shop, and we really want to do something truly historic in Louisiana. Okay, and if you look at it right now, there's not really a lot of base shops over the last 12 months that are truly promoting regional vice presidents. And so that's exactly what we're trying to do here in the next 3 years. Is we want to promote regional vice presidents, which means if we do it like we've been doing it, we are going to have many of you, probably 7 or 8, making 100,000, 200,000, or 300,000 a year, within the next 2 to 3 years. Okay, anybody want to buy into that as well?
Yeah.
Too? That's the main thing, is that it is about growth. It is about doing something smart from a family aspect and growing this business to an extremely high level. But also, we all know the most important foundation of Primerica is to have people like Purnell, people like Brandon Seals, Brandon Landry Moses, these leaders that are new, young leaders in our base shops, right? Grow up and to make a significant amount of money as a regional vice president. So that's exactly what we're trying to do, is to promote regional vice presidents. Now, if you look at this, and if I missed anybody, I'm truly sorry, but I really believe we put this. These are our key regional leaders, okay, as of right now. So we always talk about power in numbers, okay? These are the power, and some of y'all can see this. I could probably even turn it down a little bit if you can't see this, or we can move that there. But as you see this, we have Jamal and Kay and Purnell, okay? Then we have Paul Wallace, we have Dick Hicks, we have Brandon Seals, we have Moses Jones, we have Brandon Landry, we have Robert Young and Tyson Brown. We have Jay and Emily, you have Mike Key and Steve McHugh, and you have Darius Charles. So those are the main ones. I know if I'm seeing, I know we have the Beckmans, I know they're listening in. You also have Andre over in New Orleans. Is that where Andre is?
Yeah.
And then the Houston, the great Houston group with, that's another one we put up there with Travion and with Rickett, right? James Rickett, right? So if you add them to the mix, if you look at this, I mean, that's really a $100,000 base shop right now. Okay, truly this could be a $150,000 base shop in my opinion, if we reach the potential that we truly can. And that's what we have a daily devotional. I showed our key leaders today, our big hitters, that me and my dad and our son, we read together. And today's was simply about reaching your potential. And how many of you guys in life want to truly reach your full potential, right? They say that's one of the biggest things in life, is to truly get as close as you possibly can to reaching your full potential. And that's exactly what we want to try to do together. We felt after years and years of conversations about this, that we felt like the best way for this hierarchy and the best way for this base shop to truly reach its full potential is to do exactly what we're doing right here. Us work together, us merge together, use his experience, old age, but experience, his experience, his longevity in the business, okay? I've been in the business a long time now, but to use a lot of new youthful ideas, be very innovative in what we're trying to do, and then also use our skills, which we both have a lot of similar skills, but then we also have some different skills and some diverse skills that each other maybe are better at than the other one, and to really combine those together and to grow this thing to a level that's never been grown to, I believe, in Louisiana and Primerica. That's the goal, okay? And so if you look at this right here, okay, last thing, and I'll bring him up. Okay, the Shark Tank base is what now the name of obviously the base has always been Shark Tank base. So we talked about that, about what is the name going to be. And the Shark Tank base is a legendary base shop in the history of Primerica. It has promoted tremendous amounts of regional vice presidents, more business, more death claims than probably any other base shop in the history of the company. So obviously we're keeping the name of the Shark Tank base shop, okay? But what our goal is to do right now, and the last thing I'll tell you is that we got to grow new leaders in the base shop. That's number one, right? We got to grow new leaders in the base shop. We have some great leaders right here in this room, and we have some unbelievable ones on Zoom as well. But can y'all agree, we actually have the potential with this group to even be $150,000 and $200,000 base shop if we grow and develop new leaders internally within the base shop. Okay, meaning myself or Purnell and Brandon or Moses or Jamal, all of these guys, Jay and Emily, right? If these leaders decide to bring in a couple brand new leaders, we train them, we develop them, we're gonna have some great new training that we're gonna provide for you guys. We're gonna be very, very hands-on with a lot of y'all up at the office, one-on-ones, 1-on-3s, 1-on-10, right? Great trainings, and then also great training out in the field, okay? Some of you guys have been trained by me out in the field. Some of you guys have never been trained by me. I'll be able to help a lot of you guys be getting trained out in the field. Did that happen? Okay. Be getting trained out in the field. And then also by doing recruiting interviews and orientations and stuff like that as well. And we're going to collaborate in a great way on that. The second thing is innovate with technology. We've already started talking about this with Pastor in the back, but also with Jay, me and Jay and Drew and Jamal. We've already started talking about how as a base shop, we're going to be able to be very innovative how we're going to be able to reach out to people via social media, LinkedIn and stuff like that as a base shop, and really maximize recruits, maximize the levels of what we're trying to do. Also be very, very hands-on as far as presentation, overcoming objections, appointment setting, just really how to make it easier and better for each and every one of you guys to really learn the business and to thrive at a very fast pace. And that's what we really want to have happen. The third one is a power in numbers, okay? Anytime you have a situation happen like this, have you ever heard, obviously everybody's heard the terminology, the more the merrier. The more the people in the base shop, the more licensed agents, the more we can really thrive. And so when we have this group, if you really look around this group, we have some unbelievable field trainers, we have some unbelievable leaders that are out in the field that can close securities, life insurance, anything. So what does that mean? That means we can truly open the floodgates with new recruits, new agents, and we can have a tremendous amount of activity throughout this entire organization, which then will increase income significantly. I want over these next 6 months, I want each and every one of you guys to truly have a goal to double your income, okay? Whatever you made these last 4 months, I really believe with all of us working together and some things we're about to implement, that each and every person in this room can double their income over what they did these first 4 months. That's a goal as well too. Another big goal is, obviously other than Jamal, and really each of our base shops, there's been no other MVPs of Fast Start Schools, okay, recently. But I really believe that in this base shop, okay, now Purnell might be the MVP. Actually, somebody might know that. It might be the MVP of this Fast Start School, okay? But Purnell's been up there as well, and congratulations to you for what you're doing specifically. But would you agree we can have more MVPs of Fast Start Schools?
Yes, sir.
Bigger than that, we need to have more people in this room winning company trips, winning company incentives, San Diego, the new ones to Marco Island. We need to have more people winning these incentive trips. And again, more people winning different things, and that's what we want to do. We want to have power in numbers with incentives. We want to incentivize you guys to grow at a fast pace and incentivize you guys to get promoted to the next level. The fourth thing is we want to dominate the state of Louisiana, okay?
Sure.
That base shop has done that a lot, but really, if you look at right now, this team and what we're going to do together, we want to set a precedent. We want to dominate the state of Louisiana. We don't just want to barely beat other base shops in Louisiana, right, Jamal? We want to double and potentially triple the number 2, number 3 spot to really show who the dominant force is, because what's going to happen when that happens is you're going to have a lot of other leaders step their game up, and a rising tide does what, guys? Raises all boats. We've already heard that. And again, that's going to be a big thing we're trying to do, is dominate the state of Louisiana, which will really create, I think, a huge new surge of leaders in the entire Whittle hierarchy in the state of Louisiana and around. And the biggest thing and last thing is that if y'all haven't realized that, and if you look at the scoreboard, the company national recognition, the game has definitely changed. Can we all agree to that? What they're doing in Miami is absolutely unbelievable. What they're doing in Texas and California, the numbers are just insane, okay? But with the combination of this group, with the merger of our 2 base shops, and what we're going to do together, and the synergy is what the big word is. When creating the synergy of what we're going to do together, I truly believe we can get back and we can compete top 10 nationally, top 5 nationally, month in and month out, and really be one of the true powerhouses from a base shop standpoint and a hierarchy standpoint back in the company again. So those are the goals. That's what we're trying to do together. And we are, again, just elated to be able to be doing this all back together again and have each and every one of you guys play a role in that, okay? Now, again, when you have a meeting like this, and last thing, I hope each and every person in this room really buys into what we're doing and really sets their sights on a different goal and raising your business to the next level. And then most importantly is that anything that y'all need help and assistance with, now you don't just have one person. That's what's great. It's like my base shop, they don't just have me, and they've always had it, but now we have both of us been able to work together, and Lexi in the back, okay? That you're gonna, if you need anything, you can always ask. We're here to help, whether that's appointments, whether that's guidance, whether that's leadership, whether that's anything in your business. We're here to lock arms and to help you guys grow this thing to the next level. And that's really what we're going to try to do. This is going to be something big. It's going to be special. It's going to be something that the company, I really believe, looks at and they kind of set, it sets a precedent of how it could look if you really run a family business the right way, and if the leaders come in there, and it's going to be something that they look at and say, okay, this is how it should work and can work because of the growth and how we did it and how we're going to do it here over the next 3 to 5 years to grow y'all's business to a totally new level. So, well, we'll answer any questions and stuff like that at the end. But again, I'm just elated to work with all of you guys, and we've been talking about this for a long time. But I think it's really time for us to do something great, do something special together. I know I'm ready to run and grow this thing with you guys to a very high level. We're capable of so much more, and we're going to do something big together. So, without any further ado, y'all give it up for
this is something I am excited about, but also anytime you have a high level of expectation, you understand with the expectation comes a little bit of pressure. If you ever know what I'm talking about, it's like being married to Beyonce, you know what's expected, you just hope you can deliver, right? And so, but you're kind of in that same boat, right? If when this thing really is finalized and the company sees it, what do you think? They're going to expect certain things to happen, right? They're not going to expect the numbers to stay the same. Now that is, in my opinion, I thrive. I love that kind of stuff. I love being challenged, okay? A lot of people, a challenge, they shy away from a challenge. If you've never been in a competitive situation, whether it's athletics or whatever it is, you don't know what it really means to meet to a challenge, because that's what it means to really be a competitor. And this is where the shift's got to be. The shift's going to have to be to becoming more competitive, because if you're going to win, if you're going to be successful financially, you're going to accomplish your dreams and goals, at some point in time, you're going to have to step up and say, okay, then I'm going to have to start competing. Now, for a lot of people, if you've never been in a competitive situation, if that's not your personality, I understand that, okay? But for example, my wife's back there, and I don't know how competitive you would think she is, but in the things she's competitive about, she's competitive. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And she's a mama bear, right? So you get in her way, and you don't have to worry about what you have for breakfast the next morning. You're around 4, okay? And somehow, doesn't matter what it is, if it's a company trip, and if that's what blows your skirt up, then you need to go for the company trip. If it's winning a ring, then go for the ring. If it's about making 100,000, $250,000, $500,000, $1 million a year, then go for that. If it's about the big houses and cars, whatever it is this company can provide, go for that. If it's about you being something special in your community, making an impact in your family's life, whatever it is, but this is the time to start thinking, if I'm gonna get it, this would probably be the time to go for it, because now you got what's called unity, and everything I've ever accomplished in my life has never been done by myself. Anytime you can accomplish something big by yourself, you haven't accomplished very much. And you got to look at that. And if the biggest things to you were what you did in the past, you're just basically dead. You got to find something else to go for. So for me, it's exciting because I've been doing this 45 years, and I've accomplished pretty much everything you could possibly accomplish in the company, financially, and trips, rewards, whatever it is, more than anybody. But I still another horizon. But part of it is also this challenge, because once again, the expectations. Think about this. What do you think a lot of people in the company, let's be honest, if we're dealing with people in the company, what do you think they're gonna say? Be honest. What do you think? Let me go a little negative here.
They won't do anything different.
What?
Won't do anything different or special.
No. What? No, I know they'll think it'll work, because they're not gonna think it won't work, okay? But that's the problem.
Like
What?
Yeah, this thing should blow up. Like it should go. They looking to see where you gonna level up to.
Yeah, but then what you got to be prepared for, and I don't believe in this. I don't believe is wear a chip on you. I think that's like children when they say let's look at chip on you. I think that's childish as crap. But you got to realize the expectation for y'all, and this is not fair, but I want you to know this. You need to understand this. The expectation in the company, in this hierarchy, when you step on that stage and you get, because we've dominated, see those plaques up there, number one, you go up down the hall, number one for decades. But it wasn't like this. What, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they're thinking, oh yeah, well sure they're back doing what they were doing, because they merged it, and they're thinking, but they're playing again. I promise you, that's how people are. Now, I think they're right. They ought to feel that way. So based on that, if we just kind of squeak it out, and we just kind of, get back to a competitive situation, that ain't gonna be enough. Blake used the right, unless we dominate, and unless some of y'all get out as vice president and then you dominate, then they're gonna see this as not a success. And I am too, to be honest with you. I'm gonna see it as a failure. I don't think you wanna be a part of failure. You wanna be a part of success. So this entire thing is not to put another dollar in my pocket. I got some pretty full pockets, okay? The objective is to create an environment conducive for success so that y'all can thrive easier. We're trying to create that environment. And if you grow up in a mansion, you're not gonna be wanting to live in a trailer park like I grew up in. You're gonna wanna live in another mansion. So we're trying to create a mansion experience here. So when you go out, you're used to living in a mansion, and you wanna have your own mansion. I never wanted my kids to want to leave my house. You know what I wanted them to have? Their own house, just like ours. I wanted them to have that kind of family, that kind of home, that kind of lifestyle. I wanted them to travel all around the world the way I showed them how to travel around the world. That's what y'all want y'all to experience. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So this isn't just about throwing some numbers on the board. We should throw numbers on the board. That ain't a big, I'm gonna be honest with you, that's not gonna be a big deal. The expectation is you throw big numbers on the board. But we're not gonna do it by having a, rah-rah session and getting all fired up. That's good, that's fine. But we're not, that stuff don't work. It's like wetting a bed. It's cold, it's warm, then it turns cold, right? I don't know if y'all done that lately. But that is a fact. In something like this, you get all excited about it, and then all of a sudden you walk out of here, and if we don't grow, then it becomes a double negative. Is everybody with me on that?
Yeah.
Okay. And so this, Blake used the biggest term, buy-in. I'm glad Lindsay's up here. I'm glad Leslie's up here. To be real frank, I'm glad Emily, I appreciate it, because don't think that this is a, the agent, go ahead and do your thing. This crap don't work that way. There's gotta be a buy-in. The fact is, and this is a fact, if you can't get your partner to buy into you, like Leslie was involved with everything I did when I got started in this business. Matter of fact, until she started getting involved with it, I always had her support because she knows I'm a stud. She knows I'll work. She knows I won't let her down. She knows I ain't about running around town chasing. She knows that. She didn't have to worry about that. She knew I was gonna give it everything I had, and whatever I did, I was gonna be a champion and a winner. She knew that, okay? But until she got involved, not just her support, but involved, my business exploded. I went to the Fast Start School in Jackson, Mississippi the first time by myself. Nobody was there. Like by yourself, right? I went up there, I called her on the phone. We didn't have cell phones back then, we didn't have cars, but we didn't have cell phones back then. I called her, I said, baby, I said, unless I'm the biggest idiot in the world, or unless he's the biggest con artist in the world. There was hesitancy, I don't know what she was thinking about at that point. I think she was thinking about the idiot statement about me being the biggest idiot. I said, we're gonna make so much money. There was a hesitancy on the phone. You know why? I'd never talked about money in my entire life. That wasn't my motivation. My motivation was the impact I thought I could make in people's lives. That's the reason I went into coaching and teaching. But then I saw this, you know what I saw? I could have an impact on people's lives, and I could make a ton of money. 4 years later, we were millionaires. But that was my mindset. And that's gotta be, somewhere we gotta have that here, but it's gotta be, if you have a partner or a significant other, we need to have them involved. Because it's gonna make, I wrote these 2 words down here. I wrote a bunch of words down, but 2 big ones. The concept of competition. I hate losing. I like winning, but I expect to win. I'm never surprised when I expect to win in everything I do. But I hate losing. I'm not a good competitor. Well, you should be nicer. I'm not. Okay? I'm like that eagle told the buzzard, patience, hell, let's kill some. Okay? I don't like losing. I hate losing. Because losing, when you lose, you become a loser. Losing is not something you are, it's not something you do, it's something you are. So is winning. Y'all are winners. We've got to prove it. So we got to win. That means we got to compete. So when Blake threw those numbers out a while ago, my stomach jumped at least because I got excited because I love to compete. But then all of a sudden I got a little in knots, because if you ever played sports and you ever walked in a corner of a football field, a basketball field, baseball field, and you didn't have some knots in your stomach, you're not a competitor. I've closed almost every of the conventions, 60,000 people. I'm the last guy to get out there and speak. Every time, guess what? My stomach is like this. I don't think I show it when I get out there in front of 60,000 people, but it's like that. I mean, my butt tuckers up. You couldn't take a nail and drive it up my, I mean, it's like that. But I walk out there like, man, I'm rocking and all that kind of stuff. But you know why? Because it matters. It matters. I care about this thing. That's the way I want you to, I feel that way right now. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little anxious because you don't know how this thing's gonna work out. I know what price I'm willing to pay. And I know when I invited Leslie up here, I told her, basically she's gonna, I mean, this ain't a deal. We gotta be equally yoked. I told him this. This ain't a deal where the old man's gonna be doing all the work and, you know, that ain't happening. We gotta be equally yoked. That means we all gotta work. That means if you got a partner, that doesn't mean Leslie was out in the field. She's never been out in the field. She's now set the record for the amount of hours that anybody's ever spent studying for the life exam. 45 years of preparing, and she's getting ready to take it, but she's getting ready to take it, okay? And here's the deal though, when she takes it, I promise she'll probably get 100. Because she's everything she does, it's really unbelievable, okay? That's the way it is our house, it's the way, everything's like that, okay? So, but in our marriage, when we first got started, it was really like, okay, what's your role? What's my role? And whatever her role was, she was the best. Whatever my role was, I tried to do my best. She's on the partner Wall of Fame at the home office, one of the original Wall of Fame partners in the history of the company. She spoke on the stage in front of 60,000 people, including the President of the United States and Jerry Falwell, pretty powerful speakers, and she lit it up. Now, she had a turtleneck up to here, because if you saw her without that on, she'd beat red, but she walked out, she lit it up. But you know what? She hates that. I love it. She hates it. But you know what she does? She does. Why? That's her role. She's the partner. She's a leader. So there's some things you're not going to be comfortable with. You're going to have to step out of your comfort zone. We're going to have to really do some things that maybe you're not comfortable with. Maybe it's the way you dress. Maybe it's your what time you show up. Okay, that we got to agree with this now. This is like a blended family. So if you've ever been part of a blended family, the husband or wife comes into the part of it, brings their children. But they got to blend them. Does that make sense? Now, if you've been part of a blended family, I haven't. But if Leslie has, their parents were divorced. But if you've been part of something like that, guess what? Sometimes this parent is a little loose on the rules, right? But this one right here is a little tougher on the rules. Who's right? Both. But what do you got to do? You got to blend it. So Blake's been running his base one way. I run mine a different way. Well, guess what we got to do? We got to blend it, right? There's going to be some things a little different. Both my way and both his way. Guess what though? Here's what I wrote in here. This is important to me. Jamal, you saw I run it. Jay, you saw I run it. I want your feedback. It sounds like I run like this. I don't do it that way. But what I don't do is wait for somebody else to make a decision if they're not willing to make a decision. I want feedback. And y'all pretty much brand new, right? Well, you might see some things tonight and say, well, you know what? I got an idea. Well, most likely we've already heard all that crap. However, think what? This time around, maybe it's time we hear it again. Right. So I don't want you ever hesitating. If it's important to you, it's important to me. Now, you know what's crazy? When I say that, people, they still don't talk up because they think I'm not kidding. I really mean that. If it's important to you, it's important to me, because I know this. If it's important to you, guess what? There's somebody else that's important to you. But if you don't speak up, they won't speak up, then we're in trouble. So speak up, tell us, hey, I think we ought to do it this way, we ought to do it that way. We ought to try this, we ought to try that. I want that feedback. Feedback's the breath of the champions, right? So we want your feedback, we want your ideas, right? We don't want you whining and griping, complaining. We want you to speak up ahead of time, not after something happens, right? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, sir.
That's what you wanna do. Anything you can do ahead of time, let's do it ahead of time, right? If there's things you think would make it run smoother, faster, more exciting, whatever it is, then let us know. But you gotta remember this, this company's been around about 50 years. I've been around 45, we've been around 47 years. I've been around 45, 46 now. So would you think we've pretty much seen everything?
Yes.
Okay, but you're wrong. We haven't. The best is yet to come. And that's what y'all are gonna be able to provide for the company. Now, I believe this could be monumental inside the company. However, there's some pressure right now on all you and me, if you understand what I'm talking about. Because they're gonna watch this as almost like a test pilot. So you could screw this thing up for the whole company. Or you could be the shining star to, like the Bible says, take the lamp off your light and let it illuminate the way for people to see the way. I think that's our moment. That's our shining moment. Okay, does that make sense?
Yep.
So if you have a partner, if you have a significant other, we want them involved, not just, oh, you go sick them. That ain't gonna fly. I'm expecting that from Lindsay, I'm expecting from Leslie, and I guarantee that's the last thing she wants to hear. We got a pretty good life. No, we got a great life. And we got a daughter down in Florida. We got a beautiful place 2 doors down from her, probably 1 door closer than she wants us to be. We were a block away, that wasn't close enough for Leslie, so we got one house away. And we go back and forth a lot. I love to play golf. I'm a member of incredible 3 golf courses down there. I love to travel around the world, but you know what? I gotta put some of that stuff on hold to do this. But I'm willing to do it for this 3-year period of time. And then I don't know if I'll keep doing it. I'll keep maybe coming up here and taking y'all to dinner and stuff. I don't know how active I'll be after that, but I know this next 3 years, if that's the game plan, I'm in. I'm just telling you up front, you ain't gonna well, you might. But I got 7 lives left, so I used 2 ago. I still got 7 left. But I'm good to go. You ain't gotta worry about my energy and my motivation and what I wanna do. So the money's there to support what we wanna accomplish. That's on me. The knowledge is there. Like I said, I've got the experience. He's got a lot of experience now. The energy of things in the room is kind of a good blend here. But you also gotta understand this. It won't be a very long period of time. You can't count on his 40, 50,000 in premium to get this base shop to the top and stay there. Because it's gonna be a short period of time, he's gone. He'll be out of the base shop, he'll have his own. Then all of a sudden you'll be looking around and we can think we're all that, but when all of a sudden he's gone and we're sitting around and everything drops in half or more again, they're gonna realize we made a mistake. I don't like making mistakes, does that make sense? So guess when we ought to get this thing rolling? Yeah. This can't be a deal where next month or next quarter, this, that, and the other. He put some pretty lofty goals, because it ain't an easy to tweak this thing. I've done this thing for a while. You can't tweak it up and motivate rah-rah and get it up to 100,000. That doesn't work. And you sure can't go up to 150. I've done it 2-something before. So we gotta bring in new, fresh troops. I'm excited about seeing these young ladies here and this young gentleman over here. I'm excited about seeing them, but we don't have enough. This meeting tonight should have been full of new agents. This should have been new agents tonight, because they're the ones we're gonna get the explosion from. We're not gonna get it from the old farts. I'm just telling you, it's not gonna happen. Now, they can do it, but it's gonna come from the new, fresh blood. So we gotta go, the number one thing, we have to go on a recruiting explosion. And it's not about me telling you, go get you. I gotta go personally recruit. I've done that. Every key leader has to personally recruit and get their butts out in the field and filtrate new key leaders. Does that make sense? So all the bonuses and stuff will be set up based on recruiting and building district leaders. Okay, so we're not gonna do bonuses based on what we are. We're always doing premium, but everything's gonna be tied to recruiting and building new district leaders. And we wanna make heroes of our new district leaders. And if we can get them to division, we'll make them superheroes. If we can get them to regional leaders, because we want that pipeline filled again and get people to vice president, right? And we're not gonna throw stuff against the wall, some stick, some don't. We want solid leaders. So I want everybody even making money as reps. I wanna see how much, everybody should be making at least $1,000 a month part-time. Every rep, minimum should make at least $1,000 a month part-time. Just kind of fiddle farting around, you're gonna make $1,000 here, okay? And then everybody above that should make 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,000 a month, even if you're part-time. But that's on us, that's on Blake and me to make sure we put that program together, okay? If you're regional, you're gonna be making $7,500 to $10,000 a month. There's no reason you shouldn't, that's like no money. But everybody should be doing that, okay? One last thing here, and I'll bring Blake back up to say what he needs to say to get this thing going. Going back that blended thing here, blended team, is that my senior year at LSU, when I was playing, they brought in a new coach. It was kind of a cool situation. We had a Hall of Fame coach, a guy named Pete Maravich. His son was a leading scorer in the history of NCAA basketball. I played with him out there. But then they fired him and brought in a guy by the name of Dale Brown, his first year there. And so Dale, we had never recruited junior college transfers at LSU. It always been, they'd recruited all over the nation. Now even with that, think about it, you'll relate to this. When in college sports, it's a blended team. Because even in pro sports, it's a blended team. Because on the college team, Dick, you remember that, you played baseball and professional, college and professional baseball. But you get to LSU, and all of a sudden you get to you're in high school, you're all together. So it's like, you know each other all the time, all the way up from elementary, all the way up. And then all of a sudden you get to college, and I came down from Indiana. Well, there was 2 or 3 other guys down from Indiana, okay? But I didn't know them. So now I'm gonna go to school, but I didn't know them, but they were from Indiana. But I didn't know them, so we're still gonna have to blend together. Then I get there, and there's a daggum guy from New York City, some Yankee, right? I gotta start getting along with him. Then there's a guy from Kentwood, Louisiana, College Temple. I had to get to know him, okay? Then there was a guy from Texas. Then there was a guy from Australia. One of the whacked out person I've ever seen in my entire life. Played for the Olympics that year and stuff. Junior college brought him in. And a guy from Macomb, Mississippi, okay? They brought him in. It was kind of a dysfunctional team. Guess what the Coach Brown's job was? That's it, to get us unified, to play together. And sure enough, we played the #2 team in the nation, first game. Beat them by 19. We beat them like a drum. Why? What did he do? He got us playing together, unity. He took the best that every one of us had to offer, whatever we could do the best, and he got the maximum out of us as a team, and we beat 8 out of the top 13 teams in the nation that year. Why? Because he maximized their effort. That's what we gotta go do here. So on their own, the TKO's been doing fair. On their own, Shark Tank has been doing pretty good. But combined, you said, well, they ought to do really well. Only if we play together. We gotta have buy-in, like Blake said. We can't have, well, some guys wanna drag in here late in the morning, dressed like you just got off a baseball field or a pickup bat. Okay, no, it's gotta be unified. Now, listen, I'm gonna limb here because I want you to hear the way I think. When I coached, I believed this way. I still believe this way as a coach. I told the kids, I don't care what kind of uniforms we wear. I really don't care. But what I do care is that once y'all decide what kind of uniforms we want, what do I care, Jamal? We're all wearing the same uniform. I don't care what time we practice. Matter of fact, Leslie will tell you this ain't saying a lot about how smart I am. I'm getting ready to have a practice, and it's a holiday, so we're gonna practice on that Saturday. And I said, write down on a sheet of paper, I didn't wanna say it out loud because I didn't wanna embarrass myself, write it on a sheet of paper, what time you wanna practice. And I'm going through it, 2 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, because if someone wanna get up early, someone go at 8, some of them said 4 or 5. Then one of them, boy, I saw it, I threw it down, and as I was younger, so I used a few words there, and I started going berserk. And I said, none? Who in the world put none? I can't believe you don't want to practice. And all of a sudden, this little kid in the back, he went a little bit, like this. I said, what? What do you want? He said, Coach, that was noon. I felt like a total idiot. But my point was, they knew Coach didn't care what time we practiced. But what did I care about? We're going to practice, and you're going to be on time, and you're going to give me everything you have. Now, we're going to have fun. So we're going to have a lot of fun here. But guess what I'm going to ask of you? I'm going to ask you to give me everything you have. That might mean you might just give me 1 or 2 apps a month. You know what? If that's your best, I'm great with that. But I'm going to tell you, if I think you're better than that, I'm going to push you. I'm never going to be demeaning, but I'm going to be demanding. Okay? But if you can come out and do 5, 6 apps, I'm not going to settle for 4 or 3. We're going to push you. Isn't that way you want to be treated? Don't you want somebody to think you're better than what you're performing? I just want your best. I want you to be your best. And that's what I'm not going to settle for anything less. And I never will. Leslie says all the time, can't you ever just relax? No. Because if I let up, I'm letting somebody down. And that ain't who I am as a man. I'm not that way. I'm not that way as a father. I'm not that way as a Christian. I'm not that way as my physical life. I'm not going to ever let up. Until the Lord, He takes me home, I'm good to go. I'm good to go. But I'm not letting up. And I'm not going to let on this thing. If that's our 3-year commitment, I'm getting after this sucker for 3 years, starting tonight. So, Blake, you wrap us up.
No, that's great.
Great job, everybody. Of him taking over the entire thing. So this is just the beginning, and y'all are going to be part of that beginning of the succession program. So we got to make it really successful. Mr. Jamal, would you like to say something, sir? You can ask Kay if you need.
No, I'm just excited as well. Opportunity is abundant. You know, like the Bible says, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. So we just ready to get to work, level up, grow up, skill up, get better, and dominate. So you can count on us because we roll like an 18-wheeler, baby. So we ready.
Okay.
So we ready.
Good.
Yeah.
So
I got you, baby.
you want to ask your compadres? You think Moses and Brandon and them are ready to step up and compete?
Hey, rise.
They realize they in the minor leagues now. Right?
They gonna find out. They gonna find out.
Okay, good. Well, guys and gals, I appreciate y'all so much. If y'all, it might matter if I ask for a blessing upon y'all, if you don't mind. Okay. Lord Jesus, thank you for this time for this group of people. Thank you for the men and women that are here that represent you. And I just pray that you give them the wisdom, discernment, the energy to embark on their future of what they want to accomplish for their family. Well, Lord, we know you don't care who gets the gold and the accolades. We just want you want the glory. We'll give that to you. We just pray that you bless our rides, trips home, and we just ask for this journey that we're starting tonight, that you bless this, like Jamal said, in abundance, Pastor Jamal said, in abundance. And we just pray for a great evening together, and thank you for this awesome opportunity. We pray these things in Jesus' name. Everybody said? Amen.